gathering of an entirely different nature created buzz on the so-called blogosphere last week when about 20 people from political-oriented progressive blogs met at the Harlem office of former President Clinton. One of those attendees joins us now, the founder of FireDogLake.com, Jane Hamsher. Thanks for your time tonight, Jane.
Thanks so much for having me, Keith.
Why President Clinton? Why now? How did the meeting come about? What did you think most motivated him in participating in it?
Well, Hillary Clinton is one of the only 2008 candidates so far to have hired a senior blogger, a veteran blogger named Peter Dow onto her staff. And I think Peter's been very key in educating President Clinton and Mrs. Clinton, Senator Clinton, about how they can interface with the blogosphere to get their message out that wouldn't really be possible any other way.
Mr. Dow was at that initiative this morning, curiously enough. Obviously, each week, the blogosphere exerts a little more influence on politics than it did the week before. Any doubts about that can be directed to Senator Lieberman. Was there any sense in this meeting that President Clinton was strategizing by meeting with you? Could it have been tactical? Could it have related to Senator Clinton's possible White House run?
Well, I think that anybody who doesn't think that Hillary Clinton is anticipating a 2008 White House run has been living under a rock. And I think that the Clintons, both President Clinton and Senator Clinton, are obviously very tactical people. But I think it was also just genuine curiosity. President Clinton says that he reads blogs. We worked with him very effectively over the course of the past couple of weeks in order to get the message out about something you've been concerned about as well, the path to 9/11 and the misinformation that was contained in that ABC drama. And we'd work together to get the message out that the information was just not factual, and that really hadn't happened before. And I think he was very excited about that because a lot of the information that the media runs about him is just not fair, and he really has been at the mercy of that ever since he took office. So the ability to kind of end run that through the blogosphere, I think, is very exciting.
Was he listening at this? Was he quizzing? Was he revealing secret screen names under which he's blogging? What was he doing, in fact?
Well, he wasn't revealing any big secrets, but he was just asking questions and telling, Bill Clinton stories. And it was a really interesting experience to be able to sit there and listen to someone who, no matter what you think of his politics, is one of the greatest political minds of our generation, talking to people who, just sit there and blog all day long without a lot of exposure to people like this. I mean, that's one of our strengths, is that people in the blogosphere really represent kind of grassroots concerns and aren't, members of the power elite in Washington, D.C. So it was kind of a meeting of both sides. It was very exciting.
Senator Clinton's camp saying now that Terry McAuliffe can't be chairman of a campaign that does not yet exist, but does not the new front-loading of the 2008 Democratic primary season, which is essentially now the 07-08 primary season, make these kinds of early decisions essential? Would you evaluate this? Are the blogs evaluating this story as likely?
I can't imagine that those kind of overtures aren't being made and that those kind of arrangements aren't being set up at this point. 2008 is around the corner in political terms. From the blogosphere perspective, we're very focused on what's going on in the 2006 election. On my blog, Firedog Lake, we have an Act Blue page where we support progressive candidates. We've recently produced a commercial through our PAC with Ricky Lee Jones and the Squirrel Nut Zippers that progressive candidates around the country have been using. And we're very much focused on getting, progressive Democratic candidates elected to the Congress this year. So, from our perspective, we'll think about 2008 a little further down the line. But I guess if you're considering running at this point, that it's time to get your act in gear.
Yeah, but for 49 days from now, you're going to need some new material as well. So.
There's a never-ending source of material, yeah.
All right, but the last point here, are you at the cusp here where it's just sort of ideal for the blogs? You are now just influential enough, just inside enough that you would have a group meeting with the previous president of the United States, and yet you haven't gotten to the point where you're so inside that the grassroots nature of the blogs has not yet been compromised?
I don't know that the grassroots nature of the blogs can ever be totally co-opted. I mean, one of our strengths is that we have thousands and thousands of readers showing up every day and commenting in our comment sections and holding us accountable to what we write. So, it's hard for us to get insider without taking a lot of guff for it. But that is a danger, and I think one of our strengths is, people who live outside of Washington, D.C. and bring that perspective to it. But there's a whole host of people trying to keep us honest, and in terms of having, just sort of being right on the cusp right now. I think we had a real victory with the Lamont-Lieberman campaign, and I think, as you mentioned earlier, Senator Lieberman has been made very aware of our presence and sort of keeping him honest in his campaign. So it's a good time for us right now.
And if the blogs get too inside, there'll just be another set of blogs commenting on your blog. Jane Hamsher from the blog firedoglake.com. Great, thanks for your time tonight, Jane.
Thanks so much, Keith.
First, it was the